Okay, so is everybody ready to find out what the Brainy Script is that we have used over 29 years to figure out how to get people, before we said anything about the business, how to get 8 out of 10 people ready to say yes. You ready for that? Let me see in the group if you guys are there. Let me see. All right. Hey, Misty, long time no see, girl. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. If you are looking, if you're a seasoned senior, that means like 55 and over. And if you're a little younger, we'll let you stay, you know. But if you've been around the block, you've done the thing, you've raised maybe kids, you know, you've done that first phase of your life and you're ready to think, okay, what can I do now? And is there anything I can do that would make it go faster? Give me some efficiency, put some wind beneath your wings so you don't have to make all the same mistakes that you've made before and that many other people have made before. So it's really seasoned seniors who are marketers who are ready for a do-over. Now, this is good for people that are network marketers, people that are affiliate marketers. So if you have something that you're marketing of somebody else's, like say a Russell Brunson or something, or if you're someone who has a program of your own, like say some kind of a program, an eating program, or a mindset program, or if you help people with dating or relationships or any kind of program where, or self-esteem programs where you help a person change some perspective, some aspect of themselves. Any of you are going to have to bring in customers. Every business lives and dies by the customers. And in the case of network marketing, well, you could build a pretty good sized business with just customers. But the network marketing edge, of course, is that you have a few distributors who then go and do that more. So you'll have like satellites, you know, so you can really amp up the speed. But that's easier said than done. All right, so here's who this is for. I'm going to give you one of the Brainy scripts that we used, which I think will surprise a lot of you if you've never done this before. If you are somebody who has bought too many how-to programs, how to do Facebook, how to do email, how to do Instagram, how to do chit chat, how to do TikTok, how to do, you name it. There's the audio one, I can't even remember its name. If you have too many of those, if you have done too many deals, how many of you are here? Hey, Jen Powers, how are you, girlfriend? And Dr. Herb, good to see Herb. Good to see you. I'm so used to not using that H. How many of you have bought into too many deals? 2 different network marketing deals, affiliate deals? How about that? There was an age. Yeah, I think they say it's like about 55. So give me a Y or N. How many of you have bought into too many deals? Y is yes, N is no. Let me see if you all are awake. Oh, Louise, nice to see you, girl. I mean, if you haven't, there's no reason to be here if you never bought anything or didn't buy too many. Right? A lot of people buy too many deals. And then you have not only deals, but how to do the deals, right? You buy something from the Worry, Eric, right? You buy something from Tony Robbins. You buy something from Dean Graziosi. You might even have bought something from me. You buy something from, you have all these programs, right? From all these people, many of whom promise you the moon. And you kind of go, how do you even start? Does that sound like any of you? To the point where you don't even want to start. This is called overwhelm, okay? And if that's where you are right now and you are looking for a path of some kind to get you on the straight and narrow and then blow it out, if that's what you're looking for, I can help you. That's what we're going to do right now. Even some in my inbox unopened. Yeah, right? Yeah, I get emails too that I don't open and I think, oh, you know, I'll open it later. And then, of course, you know, 20 minutes later, there's a big new stack of stuff that I want to open later. Oh yeah, so true. All right, so I've got 2 brainy ideas for you. 2, are you ready? Are you focused? This is very sophisticated stuff. It's quite slick. Not slick because it's meaningless, but because it's meaningful. So you need to tune in. Hey Naomi, good to see you, girl. Are you ready for this? Number 1, have you ever heard the expression, sales is easy? And all you have to do is figure out what people want and sell it to them. How many of you have heard that expression? That all you have to do is figure out what they want and sell it to them, and then you're going to have an easy time of it. Yes or no? Have you heard this? Yes or no? Y or N? Let me hear and see. Okay, we have one awake person. The rest of you are, what are you? Not awake? Let's see here. See you get some more of you guys in here. Yeah, be sure you get your both of those. So if you can figure out what they want before you tell them what you've got. Now, let me ask you this. If that's true, how many of you are actually asking people what they want before you tell them what you've got? Now let me see some yeses and nos. How many of you actually ask people what they want so you figure out what they want before you tell them what you have? How many people actually do that? So you text somebody and say, what do you normally do? Do you go text somebody and say, hey, I got this great thing, you're going to love it. It's this new anti-aging product. It's got 89 ingredients. Okay, so if you do that, what I just did, are you finding out what they want first or not? When you talk about your product or your business, I got the greatest company, the greatest pay plan in the history of the world. When you do that, is that telling them what you've got or finding out what they want, right? Yes, that's what you want to ask yourself. And the trick is, if you want to find out what they want first, that's the way you're going to get what they call the lay down deals. Okay. And we built 6 companies to the top over the last 29 years, 6 different ones, every one of them to the top position in the company, and usually faster than anyone else in the history of those companies. And I want to show you one approach that we did that made that possible. You want to see what it is? Tell me why you're in it. I'll tell you. It takes all of like 2 minutes. Let's see how many people want to see this here, because I know it already. We know how to do this. Yeah, right. All right. Here's the first one. It's what we call the test the waters method. I put it up here short, the waters method. But what it really means is, I'll put it in here so you don't miss it. Test the waters method. Okay. And there are quite a few of these, but we're going to give you one example here on a scale of 1 to 10. Louise, you're going to love this. On a scale of 1 to 10. All right. So here's how it starts. Hey, Lulu, question for you. All right. So it can be Misty, question for you. Louis, question for you. LaDonna, question for you. Louise, question for you. What are you going to say if I text you that, or I send that to you on any of the other social media that there are? What are you going to say next? Typically, what will you say? Yes, that's sure, right? What? What you got? Is that what you're going to do? What you got? What's up? Totally. Okay. So now I have your attention, right? Notice nobody turned the other way. Nobody's looking at Facebook now. For just a moment, I have your attention. That's a hard thing to get in today's world, right? You got your attention. So on a scale of 1 to 10, so Naomi, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on this? And I hit that and you see that and you're going to be thinking, okay, what's she going to talk about, right? So now you're tuned in. I have your attention. Okay, now here's what's going to come next. And we have a lot of these different ones because you're going to be making up your own. When it comes to weight loss, cleansing, and energy, what is your number? Remember, we just said on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your number? So I'm going to be asking you right here. So get ready to put your numbers in. First ones always win. When it comes to weight loss, cleansing, and energy, what is your number? 1 is don't care. And 10 is, oh my gosh, that is off the charts, a big deal for me. Are y'all with me? Okay, what is your number for that? 4, good. 10, yes. 7, okay. Any other numbers? Okay. More. Give me some more numbers. Where are you on that? You could say any number that's true for you. Let's see here. LaDonna, what's your number? Naomi, what's your number? Louise, what's your number? I got yours. Okay, good. Good. So you see, so far we have, let's see how many we have. 7, 5, 6, 5, 4, 10, 7. What other numbers? Okay. First of all, do you notice that everyone is not a 10? Did you notice that? Say yes or no. You got to stay engaged or you're going to miss the whole thing and you won't even know what happened. And you're still going to be getting 9 out of 10 no's. Notice most people said some number other than 10. Okay. So these are the numbers that you're going to get. You all are going to get these numbers. This is just kind of how it is, right? These are what you get. Then what? We only followed up with the 10s. That's what I did. I taught my whole team this. So of the 10s, no, I don't know that nobody knows that. I'm doing this particular one, I don't know, maybe 3 years with hundreds of people. You got to try it, Louise. When you learn how to do it, this will never be a signal to somebody else ever that a sales pitch is coming. I have never had that reaction. What I get is, I'm a 10. What you got? What you got? What you got? Why? Because I'm not selling. I'm asking them, what is your number? They don't even know what I sell or if I sell anything. They don't know what company I'm with. They don't know anything except my name, right? If we're friends on Facebook, do you see this? So 1 in 10 are going to say yes. Notice, look at the chat up here. We're just taking you as examples. We got 5, 3. Now I'm going to cry because Donna said 5. Kathy Manson, you only said 6, so I should be boo-hooing. Dale, 6, 5. Lewis, 4. Oh my gosh, I better commit suicide. Are you doing that? I'll bet you do when you make presentations to all those people and they didn't even want it. You see how this works? So you take the 10, it's usually about 1 in 10. And then here's what happens. We don't push on the other people, by the way. You don't do anything with them. In fact, what happens is if I get 8s and 9s, I don't follow up with them either. But typically what happens with a 9, when I say, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you here on this issue? And it'll be whatever issue or whatever problem I know how to solve. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you here? 1 is I don't care. 10 is, oh my gosh, it's everything. Learn how to recruit people without hearing no. If I could show you how to recruit people with almost never hearing no, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on that? Where are you guys there? 1, don't care. 10, care a lot. Let me see some numbers with that. Okay, we have 110 so far. 110, okay. Right? So what does that mean? It means that I know my market. It's you. This is how good you want to get. So you get all 10s with whoever you speak to. But first you have to do it the hard way. The way I started in the beginning is fish around to see, based on your thing, what are the numbers? Then you take the 1 in 10, which is about 10%. You only talk to the 10s and you don't talk to the other people. Now, some of you are going to say, well, why don't we talk to the 9s? Why don't we talk to the 8? Right? And the reason is, if somebody says, well, when somebody gives me a 9 or an 8 or any of the other numbers, I'll say, hey, thanks very much. I'll catch you later. And I'll have 9s and 8s who say, well, what have you got? And I'll say, well, why do you want to know? You're just a 9. And they go, well, I'm a 9. I say, yeah, why are you a 9? Why aren't you a 10? Why are you not a 10? I want to know that. And I'll get an answer like, oh, well, the reason is that I really like these kind of things, but my spouse doesn't really agree and I have to get their agreement. And so that's why I really like it, but he or she always says no, so I can't do it. Okay? That's what I get. So why would I spend the time trying to show what I've got if she's a 9? Because there's a reason a person's a 9. I want the 10s. And of the 10s, because notice, is it my priority or their priority? Who said it matters a lot versus I don't care? Who said? Them or me? T or M? Give me the answer in here. Let's see if you're awake. You want these magic questions. Whose values are we asking about? Theirs or ours? Yeah, it's about them. They are going to hand over the money, not you giving your money to yourself out of your own wallet. If you want somebody else's money, it has to be their priority. Do you see that? This is how you do that. Of the 10s that we got, we would enroll 5 to 8 of them, of the 10. Okay, 5 to 8 out of the 10. And this works, by the way, whether you're talking about let's say, for example, that you have a $100 product, $200 product. Let's say you have that, right? You'll get 5 to 8 people in 10. Let's say we have a $3,000 product. If I get 10s on the issue, we'll get 5 to 8 people of the 10s. I'll get 5 to 8 signed up. If we have a $12,000 program, if on the issue, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you here? Yada, yada, yada. If I get 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, if the question is finely honed enough, those 10s, 5 to 8 will say yes. So if you have a program that's say $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, let's say you have a program like that, and you get 10 people, or to say 10, and you sign 5 of them up, and you have a $5,000 home coaching program that you do from, from Zoom, a 5 times 5,000 would be $25,000. That should take care of you for the month. Do you see what I mean? The key is getting people to say, this matters a lot to me. And that is the key to make everything. We get lay down deals. I used to call them easy lays, and then said, Kim, that's like in the backseat of the car. Okay, great. So they're lay down deals. The 10s are usually lay down because the problem is something that matters to them. Does that make sense? Let's see if you get this. See if everybody got this. Say yes if you have it. You want to learn how to do this? That's what I'm showing you how to do here. You see? So we recruited in all the companies, all 6 of them, after the first time we learned how to do this in company number 1 with the water filters. We ended up, let me get this working here. I'm having a little trouble with my video. We ended up bringing in dozens and dozens and dozens of people in the first few months, 2-3 months, always. Recruits and customers, both. That's how. We only bothered with the 10s. You see how that works? You want to learn how to do that? Oh, by the way, some of you are going to say, well, how come you didn't get all of them if you're so good? Why don't you get all 10, right? And the reason you don't get all 10, and you never will get all 10, unless you have a gun to their head, is that there are many paths to solving a problem. Ours is never just one. If you want to buy a car, for example, where it's going to carry you places, there are different kinds of cars. There are high-end cars. You can buy like a Tesla, for example, the Model X or the Model S. You know why that Model S was called the Model S? Because Elon Musk knew that Henry Ford had the Model T, and he wanted to have the better car, so he chose S for that reason, right? So anyway, little tidbits about people. So we're all on a different path to solving different problems. So for example, if somebody says, well, do you want to have some kind of a really good fat retirement income? And somebody says, yes. Well, one way to get there is through a network, through the path of network marketing, for sure. Particularly if the company stays in business and you have thousands of people in your organization that are buying every month, right? But another path to that might be selling insurance, life insurance, because those premiums come for years and years and years. Another path might be that you decide you're going to, I don't know, invest in crypto, right? Which is, volatile for sure, but it's another way to do it. Another path might be that you decide to invest in rental properties, where over a certain number of years, you have enough rental properties, homes and duplexes and triplexes and multifamily units so that you have rental income coming in. Do you all see that we're solving a problem, but the path to getting there, that we are just one of the paths? Tell me yes or no that you see that. Say yes or no. Yes or no. I want to be sure you get that. It's quite a big deal. A very big deal, because, if you want to look like some kind of an advisor, you are never going to look like one if you act like you're the only thing in town, because the people know better. We all know better, right? Okay, so let's do this. We found ways to test the waters before we spent the time and the energy presenting. So we almost never heard no. We got 10 10s and we'd sign up 5 out of 8. Do you think we were happy? Or do you think we were crying because most everybody said no? See, even the people who don't sign up, if they say they're a 10, you have a fun conversation. Why? Because you have the same values, the same concerns, the same issues. Does that make sense? Say yes, and then we'll go on to the next one. All right, you ready for Brainy Idea number 2? I have 2 Brainy ideas. Want one more? Who said they want? Yes. Jen, the program here at the end is going to be right up your alley. You're going to be so surprised. I never really thought about building this until I saw the problems that people had over and over and over. and how many people they present to that aren't the right ones. And I realized we need to get some of these brainy ideas out there, because you guys have brains. There isn't any reason you shouldn't be using these. That's what you want to do, right? It's just if you're too busy to think about it, how are you going to think about it, right? Brainy idea number 2. This is about making decisions. Okay, now I'm talking about a decision-making process that Jeff Bezos, who built Amazon, used, and he uses for big decisions. As a matter of fact, some of you may have been reading in the news of late that he is trying to fly to, I forget where he's going, but there's a big contest going on. But Elon Musk has SpaceX, and they want to send somebody to Mars. Richard Branson has Virgin Galactic, I think that's theirs, and he's trying to get himself July 4, I think, to fly somewhere into space. And then the third one, who did I say? We have Amazon, which is Blue Origin, something like that. So those 3 guys, 3 of the wealthiest men in the world, all are trying to fly to the moon. And both Branson and Bezos want to get on these flights themselves, which is very dangerous, okay? So I want to show you the decision-making process that you can use whenever you're making a big decision to be sure that you don't regret it later, okay? And this decision that he was making was, the first time he was conscious of it was about 30 years ago when he was working for an investment company. He was a quant, and that means he does a lot of numbers with hedge funds and whatnot, a lot of predictive analysis and whatnot. And somebody talked to him about the internet, and the internet was quite new then. You still had dial-up and whatnot. And so they were thinking, could you create a universe out of the internet? Of course, now it seems silly, but at that time, it was like the horse and buggy. There was no car, right? Nobody had a car. So you didn't think about that. So just think, when there was no computer, just imagine not having one. And what's your life going to be like? Most of you probably go crazy. But so the question was, should I do something online? Well, first he decided that what he's going to do is sell books. So then the question was, all right, I'm going to sell books online. I've never sold anything before. Jeff Bezos had never sold. He's very, very introverted. You may not know this. Here he is with one of the, if not the biggest company in the world, selling stuff. And he's as introverted now as he always was. It took him a lot of practice to be able to sit and talk in front of the television cameras and movie cameras and what have you, and the internet cameras, because he was so shy. So he had to decide, should I do books? Should I go and sell books? I've never sold books before, but I like to read. I've never been online. I know nothing about it. Should I give up a great paying job, making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, a lot of money, and a big bonus coming? And should he go off and start this company with basically no money, except what he had saved up from his savings from his job, right? So he gave 3 directives to his mind. 3, and I want you to write these down because you're going to want these, okay? And this is to decide big things like, which company should you pursue? Should you be chasing shiny objects and hope you land on one? Or should you ask your inner self, what do I really want? What am I interested in? And pursue that, right? These are big questions that you should ask. So here is what he asked. Should I start my online book selling idea? Should I do it or not, knowing nothing about it? Project yourself to age 80. Okay, tell me that you guys are there. Say yes. Project yourself to age 80. Yes, yes. Got it? Next, imagine looking back on your life at that age. If you want to make it bigger, you can make it bigger, okay? So project yourself to age 80. Imagine looking back on your life at that age. Hey, where's my, sorry. Okay, and where's my number 3? Ask yourself this. In X years, X is the number between now and the time you're going to be 80. So let's say you're 70 now. In 10 years, let's say you're 75. In 5 years, let's say you're 60. In 20 years, say you're 62. In 18 years, will I regret taking this action, what you're considering, or will I regret not taking this action? Tell me this is clear. So you're trying to make a big decision. Now you're 80. right? It's pretty much kind of maybe 85, right? At that point, based on what you did today, are you going to regret that you did it? Or will you regret that you didn't do it? Is that clear? Make it really clear. It's either way you could have regrets. Either way. So here's the deal. So he gave these directives to his mind. Go back to 80, up to 80. Be there. Will I regret or will I not regret when I get to 80 or 85 that I did this, or will I regret that I didn't do it? Number one. If he said, I would regret if I didn't do it, if I didn't take a chance, he also agreed with his mind that he would never regret failing at it. This is, I cannot stress to you, this is the key right here. I'm going to take a shot. And I will regret if I didn't take a shot at this. But I also know that I will never regret if I failed at it, because I would rather take a shot and fail than never take a shot at all, at whatever it is. Does that make sense? This is total. If you get this and you find something that comes from within you that you want, you will be a totally different person. You're never going to go, oh, would you? You think you might want this? No, that's for wussy. When you don't read, when you're a shiny object chaser, that's the way you're going to sound. Right? So these are the, you got this. We have this, right? So 80 or 85. Will I regret that I did it? Or will I regret that I didn't? That I didn't take a shot? And if that's the one you choose, will you agree with yourself that you will never regret failing at it, because you would regret more never having given it a shot? Okay? These are principles that I read them, and I mean, I'm sort of wussy in that sense, I guess. You just kind of like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Why didn't I think of that? But this is one of Jeff Bezos. He calls this the Anti-Regret Framework, typical nerdy guy, okay? So these are 3 directives you can give your own mind so you don't make decisions that you regret later. So you use these directives so you make decisions that you don't regret later, okay? That's what we want to do here. All right, you see that? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to offer you something that will help you decide how to do this. It's a very low ticket item. Some of you know that we traffic in some high ticket stuff, $5,000, $8,000, $12,000 programs that are really designed for people who know that they're ready to transform kind of their whole life around. But this is going to be a very tiny program in comparison. Very, very, very tiny. And there's a reason it's going to be tiny in terms of cost. And that is that I think that we have discovered a principle that lies behind the failure of 95% of the people in sales and marketing, particularly affiliate and network marketers. And I think if we can solve this one thing and get it to people really for under a couple $100, everything will change in the industry. Everything. Because each individual is going to stop doing the things that make other people crazy and make other people wish they had never even talked to them. Because you're going to do things like the Brainy question number 1 first, the Brainy Script, one of which is on a scale of 1 to 10. There are like a dozen. We'll show you, okay? You want to see what we've got here for you? Tell me yes or no, because I won't do it if you don't want. Just yes or no. You want to see my little thing that can help you with this super intelligent model? This is all based on super intelligence models that we're teaching here. So this is not anything like duplication or just anybody can do it, any nitwit can do it. This is super intelligent models that we've pulled from the best people we know and some practices to install them in your mind. All right, so here we go. What I'm going to give you here is the whole thing can be done in 5 days, 1 hour per day. If you could change everything, is that worth the time? Yes or no? Hey, Margaret, good to see you, girl. Yes or no? Margaret, be sure to set your chat box there to panelists and attendees. You see at the top where you're typing? Right above that, the 2, you see the blue thing, make it say, LaDonna, you too. Make your thing say panelists and attendees. You guys reset it so people can see you, because they love to see what you have to say. LaDonna and all you guys. Can you do that? Go ahead and reset. Okay. Would you agree that the number one killer of our industry and people in the business is rejection? Yes or no? Yes? No? Give me why and. Because if you know how to do the Brainy question and how to Bezos decide, right, about what your calling actually is, wouldn't it be kind of different? So here's my 5 hours for you. Are you ready? This is a 5-day program. And its basic name that people know about is End of Rejection, but it's been souped up. So here's what you're going to get. On day 1, this is that first hour. Remember, we said a 5-hour program to achieve this transformation and start putting it into your mind. So you start using Brainy questions and Brainy decision-making processes. On day 1, you're going to learn how to use your imagination. And some of you are going to go, well, that doesn't have anything to do with telling a script, right? You're going to use your imagination first. And the reason we start there is because we have found that the people that are the most successful in the least time start with something that came from their own imagination. And they happen to just land on a company or an affiliate company or a type of business that was consistent with who they already were. See, that's what, so with imagination, there's a video here. There's a PDF exercise. So you see that here. And then we ripped MP3 so that you can get just the audio if you don't want to bother with the whole video each time. And then we have a transcription of the whole class. This is like your first hour, first day 1. Here's what you do. And with imagination, what's going to happen is you will be able to touch on that part of your brain without going to a big shrink, where if you think about 2,000 years before Christ, they had the pharaohs, right? And all this kind of stuff was going on from the old, even before the Old Testament days. And in Egypt, they have a lot of deserts, and the deserts are flat. We all know desert. I'm looking out my window at my beach. It's all flat, right? But the pharaohs thought, well, you know, we're so cool. We need to have some way that people, after we die, know about us. That was their motivation. Maybe not very high end, but that's what it was, right? And so they thought, well, how are we ever going to do that? Because, of course, they couldn't build high rises. They didn't have the materials. But somebody thought, well, we could pile the sand up and we could make kind of sand bricks, because, of course, every now and then it rains and there was oil of some kind. And somebody imagined, what if we could build like a pyramid from their imagination, because they wanted to achieve something. And then they got all of the people over there, all the slaves, to build the pyramids. This is an example. Another example is Henry Ford. In his day, they had horse and buggies. Many horses, many carriages and carts carrying all these things, where people were at the farms, working on the farms and trying to get from city to city, because the United States was growing at that time, right? The late 1800s and early 1900s. And all these horses, they could only do so much. They were only so strong. And they would tell Henry Ford, well, why don't you create a horse that's faster and bigger and that doesn't poop in the street all the time? And he created something that had no horse. Where did that come from? His mind. He had an imagination, and he tried it, and he tried it, and he built these machines that you could see. And you're going to see how to do this, because you have the same imagination. You just have to learn where it is and turn it on, right? Or the moon. We, as children, we all look at the moon, right? You look at the moon and there you are at night as a little kid. And what happens after some time, you know, you look and you think, did you ever go to the moon? A lot of people ask about going to the moon way before we ever did it. And then what happens in the 1960s? I think it was President Kennedy said, we want to put a man on the moon. That was an imagination, and he expressed it. And 9 years later, I think, or 7 years later, in the late 1960s, they did actually put a man on the moon, on Apollo. So this comes from your imagination, and we want to show you how to use that. So that's day 1, okay? This is the first day. Because just think, if you kindle that, what power you're going to have when you touch or do anything or speak to anyone. See, you want to learn how to do that. So again, do it. It's an hour. You have to do the exercise. Day 2 is faith. Now here, I don't mean faith, religious faith. If you have religious faith, it's all well and good. This is not a kind of faith where you just believe. You know how they say faith is a feeling of belief is a feeling of certainty. Having faith is a feeling of certainty in things unseen, right? So we're on the same page with that. But the faith I'm talking about is a faith that you have, that there is some reason that you were somehow favored or specially chosen for that thing that you're going to be doing. Very different cup of tea. And let me give you just one example of this. John Rockefeller. Many people to this day wonder, how did he ever build such a huge, fantastic company as was Standard Oil? And all the oil companies that exist now, from Shell to Chevron, they all were once part of Standard Oil. He built all of that stuff. They just gave it different names and, you know, wanted to share some of the ownership because he got to be so huge and people got envious, and, you know, that's kind of how that goes. And they try to break up everything that gets big, because sometimes people kind of go overboard, you know, when they get too big for their britches. But he built this huge company. And when he started, he was number one, he was very religious. And number two, he was a bookkeeper. He was very into numbers. So that he didn't have a sales bone in his body. None. Neither did Jeff Bezos. Most of the people, Steve Jobs, are you kidding? He just as soon not talk to anybody ever. Elon Musk could barely talk to people. He still stutters when he speaks. And now I believe he's the richest guy in the world. So if you're feeling, you know, introverted, don't worry. Introverts, we got power. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an introvert, but many people that are introverts are more powerful than people like us who are extrovert types, you know, so don't be afraid of that. So what happened with him, he was 26 or 27. He started his oil company when he was about, I think he got his first bookkeeping job at 16 with a company that did some kind of oil business. They were just digging for it, I think. And by the time he was 18 or 20, he was partner in an oil refining company. When he was 26 or 27, his company was almost bankrupt. Not quite, but almost bankrupt. And what he needed to do is get to somebody who owned the railways, because he lived in Cleveland, and he wanted to get his oil, because he was refining it, right, to the East Coast, to Pittsburgh and all these other places. So he made a meeting very boldly and very scared with Cornelius Vanderbilt, who owned most of the railroads. I mean, had interest in many of the railroads in the United States. And he made a date to go see him to see if he could sell Vanderbilt on giving him, his nearly bankrupt little refining company, the business of filling all his rail cars with barrels of oil at a really low price. So on the day that he's supposed to go, he gets there, and he's a very timely guy, and he puts his luggage on, and then he forgot something, and he had to go back and get some piece of paper that he was going to show Vanderbilt. Well, when he got back, the train had gone. The train that was it, right? And the train went off the rails. Almost everybody died and was burned to death. I want you to know that. This is like 3 hours later, he hears this. Now remember, and the reason everybody died and burned to death, number one, the trail fell off the track as it was going over a river, over some high area, you know, and the I forget what happened to the train, but the cars fell over the track, right? And at that time, the way they heated trains was with potbelly stoves, like the old Ben Franklin potbelly stoves with wood and coal. And all of those fell on everybody in all the cars, because that's the way they had it. So everybody died and had a horrible time of it as well. That's what happened. So John D. went home that day and realized that he had been chosen by God. Because remember, he's very religious. God chose him for this task of becoming the best, number one, lowest cost oil refiner in the world. Like Jeff Bezos said, I'm going to become the lowest cost retailer with the fastest shipping and the best stuff in the world, right? And so Rockefeller believed that God had chosen him. So the next 2 days later, he gets on another train going to see Vanderbilt. And he walks into Vanderbilt's office. Vanderbilt's like 60 or so, 65. The richest guy in the world. This is not some sissy. He's like, you know, a hot banana. And Rockefeller walks in there, who's still 27 years old, right? Because it's just 3 days later. And he tells Rockefeller says, okay, Vanderbilt said, okay, so what's the deal you're going to offer me? And like I said, I'll read I have to get the book and remember exactly, but it was the equivalent of, I want to do this for like $60 a barrel, something like that. Just pretend $60 a barrel. And Vanderbilt said, Well, that's crazy. I mean, we should be able to, I should be able to get $80. And Rockefeller said, it's $60 or nothing. Take it or leave it. Just picture 27 years old talking to the richest man in the world. And Mr. 27 years old feels like he has God on his side. And Vanderbilt later said they had never had anyone ever come into that office with the power and strength that he had when he spoke. Because he didn't think it was just him. When you get that kind of wind beneath your wings, what do you think is going to happen to you? What do you guys think? You think you're going to have a little more power when you speak, yes or no? You tell me, Y or N. And these are, you can't buy this, see? There's nothing. There's no place to go. You got to learn how to do it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that in these 5 little days here. This is your first introduction to it. Day 3, connection. What's that? Well, who are you going to help? What can you do for somebody that they pay you for? That's really what you have to know how to do. And then where are those people that have that problem that are waiting to look for help? But you can't find them because you don't know how to present yourself so that they could ever recognize you if they saw you. You know, let's say that somebody is worried that they're going to, let's say they're worried that, you know, I'm getting older and I'm kind of putting on the pounds and my skin is looking kind of crappy and, you know, pretty soon nobody's going to love me. I'm going to be kind of unlovable and I'm going to feel like I'm going to need a, you know, I should just give up and quit. I don't know what to do. So they feel unloved, unlovable, unworthy, and they feel like if they could just get their skin looking a little better, they could look pretty good, you know, and then maybe they'd eat a little bit better, right? These are the kinds of things people think about. So if you have a hair care product, let's say, and you say to somebody, you know, I got this great super certified hair care product, does that speak to that lady's question about who's ever going to love me if I keep looking the way I do? You tell me yes or no. Does saying, oh, you know, this, you want my super certified organic hair skincare? I mean, who are we kidding? Nobody gives a bean. But if you're feeling like you're going off the deep end and nobody's ever going to love you and you're going to be all by yourself, and you knew that if you could get your skin going there, and you've always believed that investing in your skin, you just let yourself go, but you've always believed that investing and making that look good could really change your life. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you like to know what we've got? If you were worried that looking bad and being unlovable and never having sex again could be a problem because of your skin, would you want to say a 10 to that lady? What would you want to say? Versus the one standing on the corner talking about how she's got her certified organic skincare that works at the cellular level. You see what I mean? Are you with me? All right. That's how you have to learn to connect. Nobody cares about your product or the path. It's the end. Remember, we talked about this before. Okay, that's what you're going to learn in day 3. Oh, good, LaDonna. I'm glad you love the program. Yeah, you wait till you see the next one. If you like this one. Ooh. Number 4, day 4, advisor. How would you rather be seen by people? As a seller or a marketer or just a network marketer or one of those people doing one of those things? Or do you want to be seen as an advisor? Right? A or S, what would you rather be seen as? An advisor or a marketer? Now, an advisor means you know more than just the product you've got, right? An advisor is like a doctor. You don't roll in and say, honey, let me tell you what you need. No. The doctor says, okay, what's your problem? And you go, well, I got this. And you go, well, and what's your history? Are you allergic to anything? Do you hate anything? Do you love anything? Yep. Okay, well, given this, here's what we could try. That's an advisor. Do you see that? Say yes. And you want to learn to be that so that you become, if you learn to become an advisor that connects with people, you will become a shiny object for other people. They will all be looking to come to you. Wouldn't you rather be a shiny object than go chasing every single one out there? All right, day 5, this is the end. Your Sensodyne shirt. Now, what is that? Okay, how many of you know what Sensodyne even is? Tell me yes or no. You know what Sensodyne is? Okay. What is it? Let me see in the group. What is it? Lewis, what's Sensodyne? What is it? Sensodyne is a toothpaste, yes, and it's a specific kind of toothpaste. Sensodyne is a toothpaste for people with sensitive gums. And the reason we call day 5 the Sensodyne shirt is if you want to be somebody's shiny object, it has to be in a certain area. For example, if you want the really hottest car on the market and you want it to be electric, what is the only purchase you ever would want to make? The hottest, fastest, coolest electric car. What is it? Anybody know? Are you guys in that market? Tesla. There's not even anything that comes close. They decided to become the shiny object, and they're improving that car all the time. If you know anything about, that's totally it. That's what you want to be. See, not a Prius. Nothing is wrong with a Prius, but they're just halfway. They were an incremental little change. Tesla said, we're going to not build a car at all. I believe Tesla has 6 moving parts. That's it. Not hundreds and hundreds that go broke and go wrong. And they do. We all know. My gosh. Yeah, really? Totally. So your Sensodyne shirt is that thing, your wrapper, so that people know who you help and what you do and how you do it and why you're so cool. Let me just give you a quick example. Think about going to a big shopping mall or, well, not a mall, I guess, like Walmart or a shopping, what do you call these? You know, like supermarkets, right? These big markets that have lots of cereal aisles. You see all the meat aisles, right? And you have a toothpaste aisle, and it kind of looks like this. How many of you have seen a toothpaste aisle like this? Say yes. Just say YN, YN. Gimme. Let me see that you're awake. Okay. So let's say that you are somebody who has sensitive gums, and you go to you're coming and you see this. There's only one toothpaste here that really focuses, that has their little dress on, that is for people with sensitive gums. Even their name has it, okay? Sensodyne. That is what people buy, and this is their toothpaste. Now you keep looking around and you go, okay, there's another one. This one is certified organic, we'll just pretend, okay? They don't say anything about sensitive teeth or gums. It's just they're certified organic. Now let's take another one. This one is for people, let's say, who have yellow teeth and want to get whiter teeth. So this is for people who want a teeth or tooth whitener in their toothpaste. You see this? Y'all see this? Now, each one of these has millions of dollars in revenue. Each one, the certified organic, sensitive gums, for yellow teeth, who want whiter teeth, there are toothpaste over here, cheap toothpaste. There are other toothpaste that are with extra fluoride, other toothpaste with no fluoride, other toothpaste for people that don't have teeth, they have a spray or they have a liquid. Each of these is a multi-million-dollar enterprise. Do you see this? So there are different people who buy different things. There's room for all of them, but only one is a Sensodyne dress, and they've got this market cornered. This is what we show you how to do. You must specialize if you want to be special. If you want to have the most people coming to you, you got to specialize. Generalists don't make money. That's why everybody's now going to Amazon. Your biggest enemy for your success with your own business, if you're selling any kind of products, right, or even services, but mostly the products that we have. If you're selling anything that's a physical product, Amazon is your worst enemy, because they can usually offer something that looks similar to the consumer for less. So you've got to be specialized, which means you got to offer those things we talked about in the first 2 days, in the first, day 1 and day 2, with your imagination and your faith power, so that you come with something more than just the product, right? Because you're selling something else. Remember, we talked about that before, okay? So this is how this works. Make sense? So this is what you have for your 5 days. All right. So even though this is a very small program in terms of money, in terms of our usual programs, we want to offer you a couple of bonuses anyway, because I am so hell-bent, I guess, on getting this into as many hands as we can to break the crashing of 95% of the members of the network marketing and affiliate marketing industry, okay? That's just what yeah. Oh, good. Put it right in that chat. That sounds good. All right. So first bonus this is for the first 20 people. that sign up for the program. We have a program called Mr. Rogers, how he got $20 million in 6 minutes. I don't know how many of you ever heard of Mr. Rogers. Did some of you guys hear of him before? Mr. Rogers had a long-running television program for children. And in the late 60s, the government was going to defund the whole thing. And so they called Mr. Rogers, who ran the program, for the Mr. Rogers program, who was the big thing at PBS also, and said, you know, you need to come to the Senate and defend the program because they're going to take away the budget. And so Mr. Rogers came. This program includes that video, a transcription of the video, and a complete line-by-line analysis of the words he used. And at the end of 6 minutes, they gave him $20 million. There's not one word of hype. There's not one bit of technobabble. There was not one promise, none, nothing. So what if you could persuade like Mr. Rogers? So that's one of the bonuses we are going to give you. I think we sell it for like $200 in the Kim Klaver Academy. And the other bonus is something a little different. For those of you that know that what you eat and drink can make or break your body and your brain, we have my own nutritionist, her name is Dr. Heidi. She's a 3-time author in the on Amazon with her books called Crazy Eating. And she also has a doctorate from Harvard in human development. And she's also, you know, big time nutritionist. And what we've persuaded her to do is give a one-time session to all the members of this program. It's called 4 Power Steps to Eating for Energy and Peak Performance. It'll be a live session and you'll come away with things that you ought to eat and not eat if you want energy and peak performance. Does that sound good? Where to sign up? Okay, it's coming right now. Sorry. Margaret, you're going to sign up right here. Amy will put in the link here, but this is the order page, so that's on the house, okay? This is the order page that you're going to see. So Amy, if you would put in the end of rejection here, you'll see this order page. You all see what the price is here on this program for all the stuff that I gave you? Who can see the price? Type the price in the group there. Are you surprised that it's so little? Let's see here. Margaret, yep, piece of cake, right? $147, okay? And what I would suggest you do, since it's the first 20, is if you decide you want to be part of this with us, go to that link there, make sure that you're in it and sign yourself up for it. Is there anyone who goes to end of rejection and you do not, it doesn't work for you? Sometimes on a cell phone it won't work, in which case I'll give you an ugly link, or Amy will give you an ugly link. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to be in that first 20, go to that page and start filling that out. There are a couple of what we do for people who want to buy our stuff and join this type of an approach. There are a couple of items there that are, you know, smaller items, especially one on recruiting, where we offer that to you if you want it for a pretty nice little discount, just because you're here and because if this approach is appealing to you, this is what you want to do. Okay, that's why we're offering. So go ahead and take a minute and get yourself in here. And while you are doing that, okay, the ugly link. So Margaret, does the regular link work for you? And Louise, does that link work for you? Louis, you guys? Just tell me yes or no. And if not, take the ugly link. Okay. And while you are filling that in, let me tell you about, no, it's not part of the yes. It's not part of the yes. This whole thing came from realizing that there needs to be something before the yes even starts that has to do with really your imagination and your faith and that whole part. Because most people that have come into the yes have come into the program, and most of the people that come into any training program first came into network marketing because something looked like it might be a quick way to make money and it seemed pretty easy to do. And so people chose that, as you know, Misty. You know that, right? I mean, you, of all the people, you are one of the smartest girls I know. You know that's how that is. And so we went, oh, well, that sounds pretty easy. I think I could do that. And then you find out that it's hard. You cannot do it. How come everybody's saying, no, it must be me? And this is wrong. It's not that it's you. It's just you reached out for something that was, yes, a shiny object, but it wasn't really a part of who you were in the first place. You know, it wasn't really, well, we have people in that program who don't even use their products because they think they're overpriced. I bet you there might be even somebody here who doesn't really use their product very much, and you wouldn't use it if you had to buy it retail because you think it's overpriced. This is not a good thing. If you want that power that John Rockefeller had at 27, going to see the richest guy in the country, in the world at that time, thinking that he had the power of God on his side to be that _1 oil refiner, he was probably just channeling what he thought God would have said. And the attitude that comes with it was part of who he was. Not looking for something, a quick fix. You see that? Tell me if you guys see this, because it's very important to be part of this. You should be on board with this philosophy. And if you're not, I mean, it's no big problem, but, I don't think you'll do as well with this if you're looking for something quick. It isn't going to happen. I'm just letting you know right now. There's only one way for something quick to happen. And that is if it starts with, oh, wait, hang on here. Let me get your, because I see a bunch of you are coming in. I just wanted to make sure that you get, that you're going to see here what you're going to get. A little special that I have for you. Okay. Oh, Louise, this is so good. I am so glad that you're in here. All right, let me show you something special. How many of you feel like if you could get your people and other people into just a simple program like this little tiny program, we're not talking about $3,000 or $5,000 or any of that stuff. Do you think it might help people to learn how to ask these brainy questions so that they only present to the people who are likely to say yes? You tell me that, yes or no, right? Yeah, well, we're going to have an upgrade for this. Once you guys get through this, if you really want to do this a little bit more, we'll have like the Harvard Graduate School, believe me. This is sandbox. And that's why I'm asking you philosophically, don't get this if you're not philosophically aligned. If you're looking for the quick fix still, because you believe that somehow you're going to get a quick fix done, then just keep doing the quick fix. Once in a while it works. People do win the lottery. I wouldn't bet on it, but I mean, it does happen. So ask yourself, the Jeff Bezos, if I'm 80 and I didn't take a chance to see what I really myself want, what I could do and give me some power beneath those wings, would I regret that I never took a chance to find out how that was, or would I not regret that? That's the question you want to ask. Who do you want to be out there in this world? A shiny object grabber and just do whatever they say because there's quick money in it, or something where the power is, the engines come from within you, and then you turn on the gas and then see what happens when people listen to you. Very different cup of tea. Anyway, if you think somebody would like to have this, we've set up an ambassador program. And I know that a lot of you are going to jump in here and do this. There's no cost for it, of course. It's an ambassador program. And when you own the program, which a whole bunch of you have just now done, and you refer someone to, I have a video that's a version of this, and you get a special link. So the video has got your ID on it. When somebody watches the video and buys the program, it pays you some money. You don't have to sign up 3 people. You don't have to sign up 2 people. You don't have to wait a month to get paid. 5 minutes later, they give you $47 right into it. How do I know I completed the order? Okay, let me see, Miss Margaret, and I'll tell you if you did it or not, because you want to be in the first 20. Margaret, yes, we have you, and you are in the first 20. Man, you're close. You guys are going to beat each other here. Okay. Yes, I just wanted to be sure that you know. Yes, Margaret, you completed the order. Yeah, you're good. So who here are going to be my ambassadors? You don't have to be. You can say, no, I won't burst into tears. Who wants to be one of our ambassadors? Just say me. Kathy, are you in too? Let me look. Yes, Kathy, you're in. Now, Kathy, did you happen to see, it's totally fine, I'm just asking you, did you happen to see the Art of Recruiting special offer that we made in there, or not see it? A lot of people tell me they didn't see it, so I will not take any chances. Did you see the offer or not offer? You saw it? Okay. All right, because if somebody did not see the art of recruiting, because we have a way to do this same process with same idea with recruiting, then let me know and I'll give you that special link here if you missed it because somehow you ordered too fast. Some people say that, okay? All right, so here's what we're doing. If you want to be an ambassador, the whole thing will take probably a day, okay? So don't expect it to happen in 3 minutes, but we're gonna keep doing this because it's turning out to be a really popular program for the people who know how to use their minds and who want to use their minds to build, who are sick of the rah-rah, sick of easy, anyone can do it. If this, janitor can do it, you can do it. This is crap. Building a business is hard, but it's a lot easier if if the power comes from within you. See, that's where we want to do this. Yeah, exactly. You never are salesy if it comes from within you. What was Jesus's line in the Bible? Okay, now I don't want to get all Christian on you, but you know what his pitch was? Who knows what the pitch was that Jesus gave when he went out recruiting, looking for his fishermen? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? Who knows? Do we have any biblical types here? Or are y'all just a bunch of heathen, right? What do we got here? Misty, what did Jesus say? Lewis, what did Jesus say? I know you guys are into the Bible. 2 words. Lewis has it. Follow me. Now, how much of a pitch is that? Hello? The power of the words did it. And you won't have any power ever if all you're doing is chasing shiny objects. Does this sell? Is that going to sell? Is this going to, oh, is this what it's going to? No. That's trash. That's trash thinking, trash selling. Nobody any good is going to be at the other end of it. Or if somebody will buy something for $100 and you get $9 and then they're going to want a refund and complain about you because your kids are ugly. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to be an ambassador? Here's what you do. Amy, would you put in there, send an email to help@kimklaveracademy.com. Put that in there, Amy, and you guys watch for it. And then the subject subject is ambassador, please. Just type that right in there so you guys can put it in there. And then inside the email, say, hi, I want to be an ambassador for the program. And see if I got R20 in here now. I want to be an ambassador for the program. And this is my PayPal address, PayPal email, okay? The way this works in order to get instant payouts, like the way we do here, is a person buys, and it's through your link because it goes right in there. Yes. Subject, ambassador, please. I want to be an ambassador for the, we can say for the Brainy Ideas program. Maybe that's good, or the seasoned seniors, whichever. And this is my PayPal email. What will happen is within the day, you'll get an email back from help@kimklaveracademy.com. And it will give you, here is the link that you use. And it'll be something like maxout.com/ either seasoned seniors or Brainy Script, one of those, dash with whatever your thing is. So if Louise, you might say Louise, or you might say LS. It might be -LS if you just want to use your initials. So for Misty, it might be that yours is ML, right? So you don't highlight your whole name. Do you see what I mean? So it's like google.com/ KK or Kim. You see how that works? And that what will happen is you'll get a link back in the next day or so. You'll get a link. And okay, Ernie, good. You got yourself in right in time. Temecula. Do you know how often I have driven through that town on the way from the East Coast to the West Coast? It's amazing. And you live right there in the middle of that town. That's great. So what else have we got here? Okay, well, you know, Margaret, do you have any kind of other service that we could use? We can certainly figure out how to pay you. Don't worry about that. I'm just trying to think of how we could do it. Yeah, how about, oh, good. Margaret, did you see that? The Venmo, do you want to do that one? Yeah, let's see, that might work. I think we should be able to make that work. Yeah, try that. And you could also go to PayPal with a different email address if you want to, Margaret. No, there's no charge to be an ambassador. To become an ambassador, the requirement is that you own the program. And then you don't have to pay anything, and you don't have to sign 3 people up or put one underneath so-and-so or such and such. The minute you refer Lulu, and Lulu goes through the video and gets to the end, like here, and buys, 3 minutes later, once she orders, you get a message from our system that says, you have money, you have money. Yeah. Oh my, yeah, you don't want to, your PayPal gets linked to your bank account. The reason for that is, let's say some of you are paying through PayPal. We got a bunch of you that have paid through PayPal. And the reason they link it to your bank account is because after it sits in the account for a day or two, they transfer it to your bank account, see? So that's why they link it to your bank account. They'll do that for that reason. But you can. Naomi, are you set? Yep. I don't know if you got yourself in the program yet or not, Naomi, to get yourself to be one of the 20. You looking to do that or not? Louis? Yep, we got you, hon. I think we have you here. Let me look. Yeah, I'm really happy that you guys came. Delighted that you look and that you came. Yep, you go ahead and take off. I think we're set to go. Any other questions? Signed in late. Can I hear a recording of it? Yeah, you can. You can. So you go right ahead. Jenny. Oh, have you been to one of the previous ones? So Jenny, are you in our Facebook group called The Next 100 Clients? You see that link there? Miss Jenny, go click on it. Answer the questions. If you do it right now, we'll get you the link right now. If you hustle and it's what you want to do, you might still be in the first 20. We're almost there, but you might get there, right? Yeah, so click on that link, Ginny, make sure that it works. Tell me if the Facebook link works. Those of you that have come in a little bit later, if you want to come into our Facebook group, it's on the house. Come there and see, already received an invoice, sent the email. Good, good. Yeah, we're good. We're on it right now. We're excited to be here, excited to have you. Yep, you did both. See you later. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, good. Well, it just came through now. Lucky you. Just as instant. Yeah, sometimes it takes a second. Yeah, resend. Yeah. Good girl. Yep. Okay, so Jenny, have you got yourself in the Facebook group? You're in there? All right, I think we're good to go. You're going to get those bonuses. You're going to like that eating bonus, Misty. I know that about you. You like the Mr. Rogers, too. Did you ever get that program, the Mr. Rogers? Oh, my gosh. Oh, if you love language, you'll cry. 6 minutes, 20 million bucks. Most people have to talk to somebody for an hour, and they can't even get 50 bucks out of them. Can't even get 50 bucks. Don't you want to learn how he got 20 million in 5 or 6 minutes? 6 minutes. No, I mean, not a word of hype, nothing. Okay, are we good? I think we're good to go. Any other questions? Most of you in here that are here got into this, and so you all are going to get these bonuses. That is so exciting. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll end the webinar because we're set. All right. See you later.